Hello, everybody. It is Friday, February 20th, and welcome back to the Nick Watkins Show. I'm Nick Watkins. Let's get into it. We have a great number of things to talk about today across a lot of different sports. So let's start with the biggest one. The United States women's hockey team won gold yesterday, defeating the Canadian women's hockey team in a fantastic overtime game. Um, this was for the gold medal and did not disappoint U.S. Canada for the women. So the first period, no goals were scored, and then in the second, uh, Canada short-handed goal for O'Neill to make it 1-0, and it would stay 1-0 until very, very late in the game when the captain, Knight, put one in the back of the net off a shot from Edwards, making it 1-1 very, very late in the game. Almost almost 2 minutes left in the game. It looks like, yeah, it was 57 minutes and 56 seconds into the game. The U.S. finally got on the board, tied it up, a clutch goal late. They had pulled the goalie, it was an empty net, and they managed to score, tying it up and sending it to overtime, where Keller got the puck skating down the left side, made a filthy move on the Canada defender. Dangle, it was disgusting. If you haven't seen it, it was a beautiful move. Skating on the left side, dangling the puck out in front, moved the stick over to avoid the defender. Just insane juke. Great move. Got it with the backhand, shot it towards the net. It went up over the right blocker of the Canadian goalie and in, ending the game, winning it in overtime, and the United States won the gold medal here in these 2026 Winter Olympics thanks to that excellent shot. Um, it was a nuts game. And just means so much, obviously, for the gold medal. The United States were dominant so far in the Olympics. I mean, they were dominant throughout the entirety of the Olympics up until this game. 31 goals for, 1 against, leading up to this game. And then it took them a long time to find the net. Um, in this one, took them almost to the end. They almost didn't score. Canada scored as many goals in this game as the United States opponents did in the first 5 games of the tournament. So really dominant for the United States. I expect them to throttle Canada again, just like they did in the first meeting between these two countries. But Canada put up a great fight. So much props to them getting this silver medal. Is fairly even. The United States 33 shots on goal to the Canadians 31. The Americans saved 30. Canadians saved 31, and then 2 goals for the United States, the one in overtime and the one late in the third, and just the one shorthanded goal for Canada. Fantastic game. One of the all-time finishes. It's going to go down in history. Just in hockey in general, it's one of the greatest games, one of the greatest finishes, one of the best golden goals. United States defeats Canada for the gold medal. What a fantastic game it was. If you haven't seen the highlights, go check it out. Go check out the goal from Keller. Yeah, it was something special. So United States gets the gold medal in women's hockey. Now let's talk about men's hockey now. Going on today, 2 semifinal games. The winner will advance to the gold medal game and get a chance to play for gold. The first game already finished. We're kind of at the point where, in the day where some games have already happened and then some games go on. It's typically how it's gone throughout these Olympics. But the first game was Canada and Finland. And this game, much like the previous playoff games, down to the wire, close late. So let's talk about it. Rantanen finally showed up for Finland. He scored a goal, a second goal of the tournament. One of their best players showing up in one of the biggest games with 3 minutes left in the first period. 1-0 Finland. Then another goal from Howlett in the second, making it 2-0, and it would stay that way for the next 11 minutes until Sam Reinhart put one in the net, 2-1. Still Finland leading, and then late, Theodore got the puck, put it in the goal, making it 2-2, 2-2, and that would stay that way until very, very late in the game when Canada, I don't think it was a power play, but Canada put out the number one line, the McKinnon, McDavid, Celebrini line, the Mac, triple Mac line. Macklin Celebrini continued to play well. He had an assist, assisted the game-winning goal. Nathan McKinnon. I was watching it. I couldn't believe he scored because he shot it from the left side, kind of down low. It just a tiny, minuscule space between the goalie's foot and the post, and he put it right there. I don't think it would have gone in if it was just a little bit to the left or the right. It had to be perfect, and McKinnon buried it, putting him up 3-2, ending the game in after the next 36 seconds. Canada win and win and advance to the gold medal game where they will play the winner of the United States of America and Slovakia. Slovakia, the surprise team. Actually, hold on. Let's go back to this game because we got to talk about. I did the summary, but didn't talk about the deeper dive into it. Canada, we expect them to be here, but they have had a lot of trouble in the past two games. They had some trouble with Czechia, had to come back late, and they had some trouble with Finland. They were down big for a while. Big, 2 goals. But both of these games, the last one against Czechia was an overtime win. This one, 36 seconds, the final goal. Canada, for being such a good team, they have looked a little bit vulnerable to these teams. And granted, Czechia is very good. Finland is one of the best teams in this tournament. They have all NHL players pretty much. They are very good, especially in this game they were. And Canada, although they did outshoot them by plenty, they, it took them a while to get going. It wasn't a convincing victory. It wasn't a commanding victory for the Canadians. So, obviously, without Sidney Crosby, that's a part of it. But you'd like to see them play a little bit better to instill confidence. Now for Finland, we talked about it yesterday with Noah. It was just going to depend on which version of Finland showed up. Very inconsistent this Olympic tournament. They lost to Slovakia 4-1 the first game, and then they beat Sweden 4-1, throttled Italy 11-0. Just escaped Switzerland in overtime. They had to come back down big in that one. They did not look great against Switzerland, but in this game they played very well. Even though they only had 17 shots, but they had the lead. They were playing a bit aggressive. They did have 8 penalty minutes, which definitely hurt them. But they were successful on one of their power play goals. The Canadians had 4 power play attempts, scored on 2 of them. So both teams 50%. The penalty minutes definitely hurt Finland, but this was the better version of Finland that showed up in this game, and they definitely had a chance to win it. They just couldn't quite do it. Saros was fantastic in this game. 36 saves on 39 attempts. Obviously, he did get the loss, but he played very well, and he kept the finish in this game for a very long time. Right up until the end, he played amazing, so you got to give a shout-out to him. But Canada ended up winning the game, and they will face either the USA or Slovakia. Slovakia has kind of been the surprise team in this tournament. You didn't necessarily expect them to be here at all. They also won their group. Didn't really expect that. I had Finland winning. I think Finland. It might have been. I think I said Finland. Maybe I said Sweden. I can't remember. But with those two good teams full of NHL players, Slovakia definitely surprised some people. Surprised everybody. Pretty much, they surprised themselves. That was a quote from Regenda, who's a Shark on this Slovakia team. Everyone's surprised that they're here. But they won their playoff game against Germany 6-2, pretty convincing. And then now they're going up against the USA, who, like Canada, have not really played up to their full potential. They've been a bit slow. Both, well, not both, I don't want to say both, but so far, because they only played one. The one playoff game they have played, down to the wire once again. 3-0 in group play, just like Canada, and then just like Canada, a skate off goal in the quarterfinal round. They beat Sweden. They had the 1-0 lead for, there was 0-0 for about half the game, and then 1-0 for the rest of it until 90 seconds left when Zibanejad put one in the back of the net, making it 1-1, and went to overtime. Quinn Hughes scored the goal for the U.S. to send them to the next round. So these teams, United States and Canada, very similar. They have not played their best yet, but they are here and they are the best teams in the tournament. I would expect the United States to win this one. It is going on right now, 2-0 so far, about halfway through the second period. So hopefully, let's keep this up. Let's keep it going, and we'll see how that goes. We'll talk about basketball now. Yesterday, the NBA returned to action from the All-Star break. Yeah, there were. Yeah, let's. We're just gonna talk about the Warriors. The Warriors' debut of Kristaps Porzingis. It could have gone a little bit better. He had 12 points in 17 minutes. Um, the team played, they didn't really play very well. Boston really dominated this game. It was close after the first quarter, and then the Celtics pulled away. And I find myself saying that over and over again for these Warriors post Jimmy Butler injury. The Celtics just took over in the second, kept going in the third. The score was 121 to 110. It looks a lot closer than the game actually was. The Celtics really controlled this one the whole time. Jaylen Brown, 23, 15, and 13. Pritchard had 26 points. Not a good debut for Porzingis, but, well, I mean, he played all right, but, you got to get the win. We weren't able to, this is a very good team, though, so I'm not mad about it. It's just kind of like, that's what it is at this point for the Dubs. There is Curry news. There's an update for Steph. It's not good. Um, yeah, it's basically what happened is he's going to be missing the next 10 days. They're going to reevaluate after that, like give him an MRI, see what's going on. He has been out since, let's see here. What day was that? He's been out since January 30th, so almost a month now. The Warriors have really struggled without him. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4. So 2-4 since that game, including the Pistons loss, which is the game he got injured in. Yeah, it's unfortunate. The Warriors are definitely not going to win anything this year. Hopefully, we can at least make the playoffs. But the Clippers are catching up. They're a game and a half back. The Blazers, 2 games back, and the Suns are, kind of pulling away. Um, just try and keep it together until Steph gets back. That's all you gotta try and do. It's gonna be hard, but we gotta try. So that's for the Warriors. The exciting thing is we have baseball again. Finally, I'm so excited for baseball to be back. It is the first day of games for spring training. We already had the Orioles play the Yankees. Pete Alonso hit a homer in his first Orioles game. Um, I mean, what else has happened? Has anyone else done anything cool? Any big names do something? You always look for the homers, just trying to see who homered on the first day. Oh, look at this. Munetaka Murakami had a 2 RBI double. Um, that's good. You like to see that. I'm very excited to see how he plays. Um, yeah, it's exciting, man. It's spring training. Games going underway. The Giants will play tomorrow. Um, you can't really sit back and analyze these spring training games too much. You just got to contact with the young guys. So I'm not really sure the young guys for other teams. So I know the big prospects, of course, but but just mostly focused on the Giants at this point in time. And speaking of the Giants, Tony Vitello was interviewed on Murph and Marcus on KMBR earlier this morning, or maybe it was yesterday. I can't remember. But he addressed. They asked him about the comments he made on Monday. I think it was Monday. You know, whenever he made them, you know what I'm talking about. And he addressed those comments. He said, "Well, they asked him because obviously a lot of people blew it out of proportion, and we're so worried about what he said about the article and how it could have history could have been different if he had known who wrote the article. But they asked him about that, and he said, "Yeah, what I was trying to say was." How my departure from Tennessee, he said he still would have. Well, you never know, but most likely. And he said the departure from Tennessee would have been a lot cleaner, a lot better for him. And I can understand that. I've already mentioned how that is totally reasonable. And sorry, I got distracted. They asked him. I just my mind is I don't know where it's going. They asked him if Ken Rosenthal in the Fox interview was part of the reason he was so mad, and he said you can connect the dots on that one. So basically, yes. But they cleared it up with everything about that, and he just said it's try to be honest and tell the truth. And Tennessee media and Tennessee people were saying oh, the Bay Area just experienced their first you know Tony sharing his feelings day. And I think we're moving past that. I think he addressed it, and he's able to speak about it again. I think we're gonna move past that now. I'm really excited he's here. All the interviews that are coming out for the Giants players and staff are so positive. Everyone's having a good time. There's so much energy is the word that's being used a lot. And so much he brings so much energy, and I'm really excited for the season to get started, and I can't wait for it. So that's gonna do it for today. We'll have hockey recap tomorrow. Um, more baseball talk, maybe. Excuse me, but that's gonna do it for us today. So, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you tomorrow.